The real dangers here, and I hope I'm not too down on these social media, is this whole world of Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram is all about the presentation of self. Here I am, look at me. It's a call for attention. It's a kind of construction of an image, which can sometimes be very narcissistic. So I think the technology and the morality here have created a bit of a perfect storm. So I am tremendously impressed by young people today. I think we went through a bad period, the me generation, the epidemic of narcissism. We went through a very bad period. People tell me that iGen or Generation Z or whatever you call it, the kids born 1995 or onward, have a much more realistic approach to things. They know that life is going to be hard. They don't have the sense of entitlement that maybe kids of a generation earlier had. I found them to be engaging, altruistic, realistic, streetwise, but in no way cynical or disillusioned. So one of the biggest surprises for me was just how hopeful I came away from this encounter with young people today.
You made a comment recently which particularly interested me around the disintegration of our moral language. Even the language has changed, and words that once guided us.
Yeah.
I think I have you right here. Right, wrong, ought, duty, loyalty, virtue, honour. Now, they sort of have an antiquated, a musty air about them, as though they're from a bygone era.
Have you heard many of those lately?
No, I haven't.
They're just not in circulation.
No.
And they're incredibly, incredibly important. You know, the concept of honor, for instance. You know, there are certain things you do. Let's say you're a highly successful business person. There's certain things that you don't do because they're just dishonorable. And that constrains you from certain things that might be very much in your advantage, but very much to other people's disadvantage. And to know that you're dealing with an honorable person who recognizes certain codes of what you do and don't do, that generates trust, lose trust, and you lose everything. That takes me way back to Moses meeting God in the burning bush. And God tells him, go and lead my people to freedom. And Moses says, who am I? And God says, in effect, it isn't about you. Leadership isn't about the leader. Leadership is about the people you lead and the cause you lead for. So, and that's a wonderful antidote to narcissism. In the end, the great leaders are the people who attach themselves to something bigger than themselves. And that is what really makes heroes out of people. I think we have had, once you take morality out of the equation, the we, then you're only left with the I. So lose a little moral dimension from society, you're going to encourage narcissism, come what may.
I think it's a very interesting line just to pursue for a moment. I was trying to explain the other day that I've come to see this issue of the way social media is being used. And we know in Australia from we have a problem with youth suicide. It can have devastating effects.
The problem of teenage suicides is pretty widespread in the West and very, very bad here in Britain. We had a report recently which said that a quarter of 14-year-old girls had self-harmed in some way in recent years. So these are having devastating effects, cyberbullying and rejection and this feeling of fear of missing out, FOMO, all these things. They're really playing havoc with teenagers' emotions, especially teenage girls.